Hi, welcome back to Joe Blogs. In this episode, I want to provide you with a very quick update as to what's happening in the Middle East conflict. Now, if you've been following the channel, you'll know that I recently posted a video talking about the potential conflict between Hezbollah, who are based in Lebanon, which borders onto Israel, and Israel itself. And there was an exchange of missiles following the assassination of certain leaders of Hezbollah by Israel. Now, over the course of the last 24 hours, we've seen a really interesting development here. 5,000 pages that Hezbollah were using suddenly exploded. Now, you might be thinking, hang on a minute, what are you talking about, pages? Are we back in the 1980s where people have pages? Well, the reason that Hezbollah have moved to using pages is that previously they were using mobile phones to be able to communicate, but Israel were able to triangulate the position of those phones and were identifying where some of the leaders of Hezbollah were. So in July, Hezbollah announced that it was moving away from using cellular technology. It wasn't going to use cell phones to communicate, and that they were going to start using pages because as a more primitive form of communication, it's much more difficult to be able to track where people are. Now, interestingly, these pages were distributed to all of the members of Hezbollah. And on Tuesday, the 17th of September, it was reported that 9 people had been killed and around 3,000 injured when pages issued by Hezbollah simultaneously exploded. The explosions sparked widespread panic in the southern suburbs of Beirut, as well as areas in the south of Lebanon. Hundreds of people were rushed to hospital for emergency treatment, with medical reports saying some of the injured lost limbs in the explosions. Hezbollah members in Syria were also targeted, according to Syrian media. And Iran's ambassador to Lebanon was among those injured when his pager exploded. The communication devices exploded while they were in members' hands or in their pockets, leaving many writhing on the ground in agony. Security cameras in shops on the streets showed people injured while walking, standing, or sitting. And a camera in a supermarket captured the moment a device exploded as a man approached a cashier. Now, in terms of explaining how it would be possible to make 5,000 pages simultaneously explode, Hezbollah now claim that Israel planted explosives into those devices and then detonated them using some form of remote signal. A senior Lebanese security source claims Israel's Mossad spy agency planted explosives into 5,000 pages imported by Lebanese group Hezbollah months before Tuesday's detonations. The Lebanese security source said the pages were from Taiwan-based Gold Apollo, but the company said in a statement it did not manufacture the devices. It said they were made by a company called BAC, which has a license to use its brand, but gave no more details. Lebanese security say the Mossad injected a board into the device that has an explosive material that receives a code, which is very hard to detect even with a device or a scanner. And it's claimed that the pages exploded when a coded message was sent to them, simultaneously activating the explosives. Now, if these accusations are correct, this operation has obviously been a long time in the planning, and it's the first time that I've ever heard of pages being used in some sort of attack. But in terms of what the ramifications of this are, Hezbollah are now obviously very upset about this incident. They are potentially likely to come up with some form of retaliation. And as I mentioned in my previous video, Hezbollah are well funded by Iran. This is an organisation that has lots of missiles and weapons, is heavily armed. And so if it decides that it wants to launch some form of attack against Israel, that could then lead to retaliatory strikes from Israel against Hezbollah in Lebanon. And the bigger picture issue here that everybody needs to be concerned about is that Iran is backing Hezbollah and the USA is backing Israel. And if this develops into a wider conflict, there is a risk that both of those countries are drawn in, firstly by providing finance, but secondly there is a risk that either Iranian or US forces could be drawn in, and this could develop into a much bigger, wider conflict. And that's really the concern here. Not just that Israel and Hezbollah are trading blows, but if they draw in their partners, then we could see something major developing in the Middle East, which could have really negative implications for global markets and obviously the global economy. So I'll keep you posted on any further news and developments. I thought this was quite an interesting story to share with you. If you've liked today's video, then please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching all the way through to the end, even though this is quite a short one. And here's something to put a smile on your face.